Alright, I was hoping for these to be actually produced since my initial review of these guys, and it's actually here in the flesh, so let's check it out. Welcome to Machines and More. I wanted this one in white, just like the Cooler Master V650 that I have, and I'm sure you have a white build that you're looking to set up with something like this. This is the V850 SFX power supply, but this one's in white, and I thought I would show it to you as I check it out and unbox it for the first time. I'm pretty stoked about this since I haven't seen another white SFX power supply just yet. And I have done a fairly extensive set of reviews on this series of power supply, and this being strictly a cosmetic change, I did just want to show you what it looks like and some of the accessories, the cables that are included, so let's do that today. But I don't want to just leave it at an unboxing and show and tell, so I do want to show you at least next to some other SFF cases that you might be interested in building it in. And a big thanks to Cooler Master for sending this one by today. Let's check this puppy out. Alright, one of the things I'm pretty curious about is if the ATX adapter plate is also redone in white. So let's pop this open here. These are all the post electrical change unit that feature the always on fan, and I really like that feature about these units. I just think it's a good idea for the fan to be on all the time, even at just a low level. Some airflow is always good, even when the system is idle. Look at this finish. I just love it. Matte finish, flat paint. Looks to be the same type of powder coating as the black V650 SFX, if you see that. This one's kind of a rougher texture. This one's a little bit smoother, but it's not glossy by any means. A little bit of a satin, I'd call it. Black fan. Kind of has that stormtrooper look, you know. And the connector ports here, yeah, they are black, but I think since you don't really want to see this end, this is not the end that's on display anyway. I think most people can live with that. You know, white labeling here, nice touch. Yeah, overall, pretty nice. It did come with this label. It says fan will not spin until a specific core temperature is reached. So when you power on your system, even though this is an always on fan, it's still going to be a little while before it starts spinning. And after that point, though, it won't stop spinning until you shut the system off. All right, let's take a look at some of the cables here. All right, this is the 24-pin ATX cable. Clean looking. It does have a little bit of gray labeling on here, but that's okay, it's not terribly conspicuous. Molex power. This is one of the CPU EPS cables. I think you get two SATA power cables, PCIe cables. These are 16 gauge based on the labeling, so it's just the same as the black version, and that means that you can run two of these on something even like a 3080. I feel comfortable using the dual ends on that. Now if you have one of those 3080s, the super overclocked ones that use 3 8-pin power, then yeah, you have to run two cables. But I like this because you can just get away with running one PCIe cable for most GPUs. And this is the CPU EPS cable, which is split up in case your setup needs like an A+4 or something like that. And yeah, it is a black AC power cable. Was hoping this would be white, but that's okay. We can't be too picky. So, selection of zip ties and cable management tools. And yeah, this is the ATX adapter. And what this does is it'll mount to your SFX power supply holes in order to put this where an ATX supply would go if you're doing that kind of setup, which is kind of rare, but I'd like to have the option if that's ever needed. All right, so usually a power supply isn't really the center of attention, but there are more than a few cases, especially sandwich style ones, where the power supply is fully on display. And actually the NR200 isn't one of those cases where the look of the power supply is that big of a deal, since if you have a black power supply, it's gonna hide behind the cage anyway. But let's just take a quick look at this one next a few cases. So here's the Meshlicious next to the white SFX. It looks pretty good. The texture of the paint, the Meshlicious has a slightly rougher paint, but you know, I don't think you're really gonna notice that. Well, in general, I think it matches pretty well with this matte white, so it would be fabulous for your white Meshlicious build. Throw in a white AIO and pff, lights out, right? All right, what about the Q58? The power supply is pretty front and center in this build. And yeah, and I'm taking this apart, just do some mods and stuff like that, and I'll show you guys. This is a 3D printed custom power supply bracket that I designed. I'll show you this more in detail in the upcoming Q58 mods video. But yeah, I think this one, the white is a little more yellowish looking here. It's not terribly off-white, but the Q58's white is definitely more of a cool white. I still think with a white AIO, maybe one of those Gigabyte Z590 ITX Vision boards, this would be a killer build. And hopefully there's going to be a similar board in the Z690 chipset as well. So yeah, this will look good with Q58. And the last one we'll check out here, the NR200. Okay, this paint is a little more textured than the NR200. This NR200 is more smooth, a little bit more satiny. But you know, you don't have to go all matchy on it anyway. I don't know that you really have to get a white PSU for the NR200, but you know, the good news is these cost exactly the same as their black counterparts, at least from what I checked just now. So if you wanted to pick one of these up for your NR200 anyway, then you might as well go for the white version, right? And they do come in 750 and 850 watt versions. Personally, I would just go with the 850 since it's only 10 bucks more. And the 850 watt white ones seem to be more readily available anyway. And I have been using these power supplies for about a year now, fairly extensively in a lot of builds, and I'm very happy with these, especially after the electrical change. They are good power supplies, and yeah, really digging this white color, this new white version, and I'm definitely going to work this one into that Q58 rebuild that I'm going for right now, so look for that update soon. I will leave the links down below, and thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for checking this out with me.